Hey everybody, are you with me? Yeah? Okay, that's good. So here we are. Here we are. Here we are again. Will this thing ever end? We had no idea, but here we are, all right? Raise your hand if this is the first time you've watched me do these, okay? All right, and if you're sitting next to somebody who it's the first time, just say hi and introduce yourself to them. You know, like maybe next to the computer next to you, 7 miles away. So I got a couple things I want to do for you today. And I guess I should just do them. Actually, I sang this song, or part of this song, months and months ago, but there's a story. I used stories to tell to go along with it, so I thought I'd do it again. There's a kid lives on my street. She's the weirdest kid you'll ever meet. When you ask her, how are you? That kid says, and your part is, Wacka Wacka Woo, Wacka Wacka Woo, Wacka Wacka Woo. What's that mean? I wish I knew. When you ask her, how are you? That kid says, yeah, there you go. So there is this kid on my street. Her name's Zoe. And Zoe lives a couple houses down from me, and I don't know exactly how old she is. I'm guessing like 5 or 6. I asked her how old she was, and she said, none of your business. I said, Zoe, that's not nice. She said, that's what my mom says when I ask her how old she is. I said, that's different. It's not different to me. So she's like 5 or 6, right? And she comes down the street, and I have this little house. It's this one right here. It's like a little one-room house behind my house. It's my studio where I make things. There's a little walk, a little path leading down to it, right? So I'm sitting over here at my computer, or maybe I'm strumming my guitar. I'm sitting at my computer. I'm working on a book, you know. And Zoe comes over to my house, but she doesn't knock on the door or anything. She just stands outside and yells, which is actually what we used to do when we were kids. Maybe we didn't want to be with the grown-ups, but we would ride up the driveway on our bicycles, and we'd get about 20 yards from the house, and we would yell, Tommy! Or one of them we could blow. I can't do this anymore. We would do that, and then the mom or the dad would say, Bill's outside waiting for you. And so it's kind of like that with Zoe, because she doesn't come to the door. She just stands, I don't know, like 20 feet away. She goes, Bill! Bill! And I try to ignore her, you know, because I'm trying to work. And it's hard for me to sit still and work as it is. Bill! I know you're in there. Bill! I said, yeah, Zoe. And she says, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm working. It's quiet for a while, and then she says, how come? I said, well, because that's what I do. Well, how come you have to work? I said, well, because I have to make money. She's quiet for a minute and says, well, how come you have to make money? I said, because I have to eat. She says, oh. And then I don't hear anything for a long time, so I think maybe she's gone. A couple of minutes later, she goes, Bill? I said, yeah. She said, when you work a lot, do you have to eat more? And I said, yeah. She's still not coming inside, right? And she goes, so like the more you work, the more you have to eat? And I said, yeah. So if you work less, then you eat less? I said, yeah. And so then if you just stop working, you won't have to eat and you won't have to work, so you can come out and play with me. I said, that doesn't make any sense. She said, it does to me. That's the way she is. She's really weird. You know? Like, one day she came out, she said, Bill? I tried to ignore her. She said, Bill? I said, what? She said, I should have had the pretzel first. I said, what are you talking about? She said, if I had pretzel first, I'd still have all the money. And I said, what are you talking about? She said, well, my dad let me walk to the store and he gave me $3. So I walked to the store and I decided to buy a donut. I said, okay. and the donut cost 50 cents. I said, okay. And so I ate it, and I was still hungry, and so I bought another donut. And I said, okay. She said, then I was still hungry, so I bought another donut. I said, okay. And I was still hungry, but I didn't have enough for a donut, so I bought a pretzel. And I said, okay. And she said, then I was full. I said, okay. So I should have had the pretzel first. I said, why? She said, because if I'd eaten the pretzel at the beginning, I would have been full, and I wouldn't have had to spend all the money on the donuts. I said, that doesn't make any sense. She said, it does to me. Then one day I was walking down the street, and there were a bunch of kids. They were sitting around at a picnic table, and she was there, and she was younger than the rest of them. And they were all laughing except for her, and she was sitting at a table. She was very serious, right? And I walked up, and I didn't say anything. I wanted to see what was going on. And one said, okay, Zoe, let's do it again. This is a dime, and this is a nickel. Which one do you want? She said, the nickel, because it's bigger. And she grabbed it. She put it in her pocket. Everybody laughed. She smiled. And they said, let's do it again. And they put the same dime out. They put another nickel. Said, this is a dime, and which is a nickel. Which one do you want? And so he said, the nickel's bigger. I'll take the nickel. Took the nickel again. That went on and on. And I wanted to interrupt, but it was kids, and I wanted to let kids figure things out for themselves. But finally, all the older kids had been teasing her and laughing at her because she was choosing the nickel instead of the dime. They all laughed, and then Zoe reached in her pocket. She pulled out a nickel. Look, and I said, Zoe. She said, what, Bill? I said, they were teasing you. What? They were teasing you. No, they weren't. Yes, they were. They were teasing. They were laughing at you because a dime is worth more than a nickel. She said, I know that. I said, why were you taking the nickel? She said, because if I took the dime, they'd stop giving me the nickels. I said, that doesn't make any sense. She says, it does to me. So, I got a lot of stories about Zoe, but one more, all right? So one day, a couple weeks ago, I was trying to fix something in my house, and I needed a big Phillips head screwdriver. I went down to my basement, I couldn't find it, and I'm not very organized. I don't know if you've picked that up or not, and I can never find anything that's mine. But her parents have a lot of tools, and they have a workplace, and it's very organized. So I figured they would have one. So I just called them up to see, right? I call up their number, and Zoe picks up the phone, and she goes, hello? I said, Zoe? She says, yeah. I said, how are you? She said, I'm fine, Bill. How are you? I said, is your dad there? Yeah. I said, can I talk to him? She said, no. I said, why not? He's busy. He said, okay. Can I talk to your mom? Is your mom there? Yeah. Can I talk to her? No. Why not? She's busy too. I said, was there anybody else there? My grandma's here. Oh, can I talk to your grandma? She's busy. I said, is there anybody else there? Yeah. Who? The police. The police are there? Yeah. They're busy too. Everybody's busy. I said, well, Zoe, what are they doing? She said, they're looking for me. So when you're down and feeling blue, when you don't know what to do, I have some advice for you. Smile and say, wacka wacka woo, wacka wacka woo, wacka wacka woo. What's that mean? I wish I knew. I have some advice for you. Smile and say, wacka wacka woo. There you go. I have a lot of stories about Zoe. So I'm going to do one more story for you today, but I do want to tell you that I am going to be doing a couple shows for adults. I'm going to be doing something for Storytelling Arts in Indiana, and you can find out about them on my webpage, or my on Facebook. We'll be making announcements, and that will be next. It's the 8th. What day is that? That would be Wednesday, a week from tomorrow. And then also, I'm going to be doing something for the Gloucester Stage. Gloucester Stage is this great little theater company north of Boston, and I'm going to be recording it at the theater, and then they'll put it up. So I'll let you know when that's going to happen. And now, I didn't get any notes about birthdays this week, except I'll tell you, well, I've got one to announce next Thursday, but let me put this here. Tomorrow is my birthday. Are you with me? Yeah. I'm not even going to tell you how old I am. Maybe I already told you, I don't know. I'm going to be 66, there I told you. I do that because, don't you remember when I was talking about Mrs. Nottingham, about adults don't talk about it? Or like Zoe, that's what my mom says. So this is what it looks like, I guess. But I just got this morning in the mail, a great birthday card from Jane and Wayne Meyer in Muncie, Indiana. And they sent a donation for the show, which I really appreciate too. But and this really nice card, and in it, Jane included a recipe, and I thought I'd like to read you the recipe. Since last week, I told the Battle of the Mad Scientists. Now, if you watch the show, do you remember what we were going to serve during the intermission that Philip was very interested in? Do you remember? Circus peanuts? Right. So, Jane sent me a recipe, and I'm going to read the recipe because it's so horrible. And I show you the pictures, but I don't think the picture is going to translate. This is called, I don't know where you found this, all right? Well, you found it on the internet, because everything's on the internet. Circus peanut jello salad, okay? Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 2 minutes. Total time, 12 minutes. Here's the ingredients, okay? 44 circus peanuts candies divided. 1 cup of boiling water divided. Good luck on that. 2 packages, 3 ounces each, of orange gelatin. If you're a kid, you don't know what gelatin is. It's what Jell-O is made of, all right? 2 cans, 8 ounces each, of crushed pineapple, undrained. Now, let's talk about the undrained. Because if you know anything about canned pineapples, do you know what they're in? They're floating around in sugar water. So whoever made this recipe is worried there might not be enough sugar in the recipe already with the 44 circus peanuts. And 1 carton, 8 ounces of frozen whipped topping. Thawed. Okay. Now, set aside 12 circus peanut candies for garnish. You know what a garnish is? That's like to dress it up at the end. With the remaining 32 candies, not 31, not 33, cut them into small pieces and place them in a microwave-safe bowl. This reminds me of making goop. Add a 1/4 cup of boiling water. That's where you divide the water. Cover and microwave on high for 45 seconds and stir. You know, kids, I think that you could handle this. Microwave 1 minute longer. Stir until smooth. So you've got this. Now it's gone from this circus peanuts to orange glop. Oh, you know what it reminds me of? Philip. In a large bowl, dissolve the orange gelatin in a remaining 3/4 cup of boiling water. Stir in the candy mixture and pineapple. Refrigerate until partially set. I don't know how long that takes. How long does it take, Deb?
I don't know. 20 minutes, half hour?
Then you fold the whipping, half an hour, Debbie says, maybe. Fold whipping topping into the gelatin mixture. Pour into dish, lightly sprayed with cooking spray. Don't put too much cooking spray in because we don't want to add to the calories. Refrigerate until firm. Cut into squares. Top each square with a reserved circus peanut. That just sounds absolutely disgusting. Okay. wrote this piece, I was thinking about a folk tale I've heard from many different cultures. A lot of native people, first people here in North America, tell a story, but I've seen it in other cultures too. And I was also listening to a lot of Cuban music at the time. And at the same time, I was thinking a lot about poetry, and I was studying poetry, and that there's some patterns that are really great for storytelling, like iambic heptameter, which is 7 beats in a line, da 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 da. So what I did when I made this piece up was I took the story and I took the music and I took the rhythm and I put them all into one piece. When I was just a kid, I had a dog named Gus. Wasn't much to look at, but I called him my own. One day I couldn't find him. He wasn't in the kitchen. He wasn't in the house. He wasn't anywhere at all. So I walked down the street. I whistled and I called till I thought I heard some barks and yelps down by the creek. It's a place I used to go to when nothing else was happening. You know, I'd take off my shoes and wade in the stream. I fished and built up little dams and watched the leaves and branches float by like ships and boats to some other world. I thought Gus might be down there playing in the water, so I walked down to the creek. I came around the bend and I stopped. I almost choked on the gum that I was chewing. My eyes got big as saucers. The hair stood up on my neck. I'm gonna tell you people, and I hope that you believe me, because I never seen anything quite like before. It was the biggest pack of dogs that I had ever seen. They were walking around each other. They were wagging their tails. Nobody was fighting. Everyone was smiling. You know that dogs can do that. They do it all the time. Bow, wow, wow, wow. That's what they were saying. You know there must have been 100 dogs there. Wow, 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 it was some kind of party. There were mutts and puppies everywhere. You with me? The dogs were strutting around, checking out each other, like they had been invited to some elegant soiree. It seemed like they were waiting for something to begin, for someone to say something to welcome them all there. And I saw my dog Gus climb up on a rock, barked a couple barks, then he gave a yip. When he had finished, the others barked back at him, and then it got weirder by a bit. I watched as my dog Gus reached down with his chompers, grabbed a hold of his tail, and he pulled it off. He laid it on the bank, jumped into the creek, barked back to the others to come and join him there. Sure as I'm sitting here, those others barked and howled. I watched them take their tails off one by one. They lined them up there, right beside the water. They jumped into the creek and they began to splash around. Bow, wow, wow, that's what they were saying. You know there must have been 100 dogs there. Bow, wow, 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 it was some kind of party, yeah. Mutts and puppies everywhere. I don't know why they took their tails off. It doesn't make much sense, but hey, I'm not a dog. Who am I to judge? So I sat down in the tall grass where I thought they couldn't see me, and I watched those crazy poochies swim and have a blast. They were playing Marco Polo, monkey in the middle. Some were playing shark. They were jumping off of rocks, doing cannonballs, jackknives, watermelons, belly floppers. Some did the doggy paddle. Well, that kind of makes some sense. Couple on the side, I guess they didn't like the water. They were putting sunscreen on their nose, polishing their nails. There was a dog with wrinkling muscles walking back and forth, showing off his canines, showing off his coat. My dog Gus wasn't big, but he seemed to be in charge. He was the party dog. The host with the most, he walked among the others, just checking out the scene, making sure that every puppy was as happy as can be. Bow, wow, 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 that's what they were saying. You know there must have been 100 dogs there. Wow, 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 it was some kind of party, yeah. There were mutts and puppies everywhere. Do you believe me? I hope so. It was so hard to believe. I wanted to get closer. So I got down on my stomach. I crawled through the grass until I got so close I was almost getting splashed myself. And I raised my head a little, just to get a better look. What do you think happened? Some little Pekingese, some puny little mutt with a ribbon in her hair. She saw me looking at him and she gave this little yippee. Ah! The others stopped. They looked. They saw me hiding there. I ducked down in the tall grass and hoped they hadn't seen me, but the damage was done. My cover was blown. They climbed out of the water. They grabbed any tail they could find. They stuck it on their rear ends. They headed for home. Wow, 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 that's what they were saying. Oh, there must have been 100 dogs there. Wow, 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 it was some kind of party, yeah. There were mutts and puppies everywhere. The other dogs had left. That's when I saw my dog Gus walking back and forth on the bank along the creek, looking for his tail, but he couldn't find it anywhere. All he had was just that stump of where it should have been. When he saw me standing there, he kind of shook his head, and I thought I heard him mutter in a disgusted kind of way. We walked back home together, but he wasn't very happy. He didn't wag his tail. I can tell you that. He wouldn't lick my face. I couldn't scratch his head. He would hardly look at me for another week or so. I couldn't tell my parents. They wouldn't believe me when they said, "Where did Gus's tail go?" I just went, "I don't know." But, from that day on, when Gus met another dog, he always did the same thing wherever we were. He'd go down to that dog's backside and he'd take a careful look where that tail was stuck on to see if it was his. And I've noticed that other dogs all have the same habit of sniffing around real careful when they find another pooch. They're all looking for their own tails, not the ones they got stuck with when I spoiled the swimming party now. That's the truth. Bow, wow, 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 that's what they were saying. There must have been 100 dogs there. Bow, wow, 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 it was some kind of party, yeah. There were mutts and puppies everywhere. Bow, wow, 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 that's what they were saying. There must have been 100 dogs there. Bow, wow, 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 it was some kind of party, oh. There were mutts and puppies everywhere. So that's that. That's that. So, maybe you don't need to know this, but I'm going to remind you. Put your mask on when you go and see people that you don't know, or people that you haven't seen for a long time. We have to get through this, and I'm aware of it too. And sometimes I'm tired of wearing a mask. I go out and say, oh, it won't make a difference. But what I always try to remember is, it's not for me, it's the other people so that they can feel safe. And right now, what we really need to do is try to make everybody feel safe. I'm going to leave you with a little story. On Thursday, I'm going to tell Field Trip. which is a big, long story, and Glenn is coming back. Glenn from the Battle of the Mad Scientists. Glenn's in that story. And if you couldn't believe it, the story I'm going to tell you on Thursday is even wilder than the one I told last week. But here's a little story I learned from Joe McHugh, who's a storyteller who lives in Washington State now. And I heard him tell this story 40 years ago. So there was this girl. She's got 3 brothers. She thinks they're all crazy. You with me? You have a crazy brother or sister? And one night, her parents are out, and each one of her brothers has his own room, and they haven't come down for a long time. She doesn't know what they're doing up there. So she goes up the stairs, where all the bedrooms are on the 2nd floor. She comes to the first door, where her first brother is, and she listens. She doesn't hear anything, so she knocks on the door. She doesn't hear anything, so she opens the door. And her brother, her first brother, is sitting there. Look it up. What are you doing? It goes like this. She says, what are you doing? He says, I'm putting the stars up in the sky. She says, you're crazy. She shuts the door. She goes down the hallway to the 2nd door, where her 2nd brother lives. Knocks on the door. Bam, bam, bam. Nobody answers. Opens the door. Her 2nd brother is sitting on the bed going like this. What are you doing? He says, I'm taking the stars down from the sky. My other brother put them up there. She says, you're crazy. She goes down the hallway to the 3rd door. Her 3rd brother. She's almost afraid to knock. Afraid to see what she's going to see. Hopes it doesn't have anything to do with the stars. So she knocks on the door, but nobody answers. She opens the door. Her brother's going like this. She says, what are you doing? He goes, what? What are you doing? Don't you know? Our other 2 brothers are crazy. I'm getting out of here. And that's what I got for you today. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see you on Thursday, okay? Bye-bye.